Okay, so I want to make this video today because I know that, from my perspective, from my own things that I've been through and going through, that someone's hurting right now and they're scrolling on their Instagram, they're scrolling on their Facebook and they're hurting and they're really angry. And the reason that you might be angry is because somebody hurt you. And maybe you're watching this today on this Sunday, going into another week, and you already feel that in your gut, like, oh no, another week of this, another week of the hurt, another week of the pain, another week of, just getting by until the next weekend. Well, I just want to offer hope today, and I want to offer something that you can control. Because as human beings, we love to control things. We love to control sometimes people, which I wouldn't recommend. We like to control the narrative. We like to control the day. We like to control our to-do list. We like to control our children, and the list goes on and on. One of the things, and that's not a bad thing to be in control of certain things in your life. So let's just kind of put it this way. If you're in a situation right now, whether it's a relationship problem, whether it's a business partnership issue, whether it's at your job, a boss or a coworker, one of the things to make yourself more attractive, the things that I've learned from my coaching experience and people that are coaching me even right now, is this thing that marriagehelper.com came out with. I learned about this many years ago called PIES, P-I-E-S. And I just want to share it with you because every single day, I think about it. It motivates me. It drives me. And the P stands for physical. The I stands for intellectual. E stands for emotional. And S stands for spiritual. Now, in the midst of pain, in the midst of a challenge that we all face, we can control those four things. For instance, we can control the P. We can go to the gym. We can get a workout in. We can get consistent with a cardio, weightlifting, karate, Pilates, bicycling, getting into the best shape of your life. Because if you can control that, which you can, then you become 25% more attractive to people. And I'm not just talking about, the opposite sex or a partner or a spouse, which obviously helps, but it also to other people. Just wanting to get to know you, your energy changes, things are shifting in your life. And it really is something that you can control. And of course, physical comes with the food that you eat. You start shopping for better foods. You start getting more disciplined. You start imagining. You start visualizing the kind of body that you want to have. I'm on a workout plan right now called the Movie Star Diet. It's not even really a diet. It's just a plan that I eat certain calories every day, and I have a specific workout to really look like a movie star, to get rid of some of the body fat. It's not about bulking up for me. It's about really just looking and feeling my best, even when I have my shirt off. Okay, and I live in Florida, so that's going to happen a lot when I go by the pool. But really feeling I can control that narrative. I stands for intellectual. What does I mean? I means you can read, 10 pages a day of a good book. You can pick out, I have a couple books that I'm reading right now, but you can pick out something that's going to add value. I'm not talking about a love novel or something like that. I'm talking about maybe a personal development book. The Bible, of course, is the best book there is, in my opinion. So you're just really learning. You're growing every day. You're immersing yourself into things that, of course, it's easy to flip on Netflix, even if you're hurting, even if you're going through a breakup or you're going through a challenge or, going through a marital issue. It's easy just to watch Netflix, or it's easy just to take the weekend off and then go into the next week not prepared. But really having that clarity plus focus is going to give you energy. So that's intellectual. And of course, immersing yourself into that every single day, 7 days a week, not taking a day off. E is emotional. And this is something that I struggle with too, because emotions are high and low. So sometimes you get really excited, sometimes you get passionate, sometimes you get angry, sometimes you get scared, sometimes you get fearful. It's like up and down. It's like the stock market or it's the cryptocurrency market when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm losing money. What do? I better sell right now. But if you just held on and had faith, it's going to go back up. What goes down always usually goes back up. So having the faith, having the trust in the process, trusting the process, but it comes from emotional intelligence. And we all need to work on that. I especially need to work on that every single day. So what are the things that I do for emotional help? Well, I hire an energy healer. I meditate twice, even sometimes 3 to 4 times, sometimes even 10 times a day. I don't care. Prayer. I think that's a huge thing. If you pray literally 12 minutes a day for 8 weeks in a row, your brain under a brain scan can literally change your brain. That's how much the power of prayer, even on a physical sense, but even on a spiritual sense, I'll get to that in a second, but prayer slows down those emotions. It helps you to think more clear and also starts to really help drive that self-confidence. And then the last thing is S, which is spiritual. Yeah, we're all spiritual beings. And if you don't believe that, I'm sorry. I just feel bad for you. I feel bad for anyone that thinks, there is no God, there is no spirit, there's no spirituality out there. But I know that most people do. There's that saying where if you're in the trenches in the middle of the war, in the foxholes, you're not going to find really an atheist in that moment. Even if you are an atheist right now, well, you probably haven't been in the foxhole at war, think World War II, and you're like, oh, if I die, nothing happens. I think we all as human beings have that in us to understand that there's more to life than just what we see. There's a spiritual battle. There's a battle between good and evil. Just turn on your news. Just turn on any TV app, anything. There's going to be bad news. There's going to be good news. And you have to decipher through that. There's a spiritual battle that we all have to face. So going into this week as Sunday, as we are sitting on right now, are you going to go into the week excited? Or are you going to go into the week sad? Are you going to go into the week making a decision? Clarity plus focus equals energy. No matter what anyone thinks of you, even if your spouse can't stand you, even if your girlfriend broke up with you, you have the choice because you are in control of what we call PIES, P-I-E-S, okay? Your physical, you have control of. Your intellectual, you have control of. Your emotional, you have control of. And your S, your spiritual life, you have control of. So I pray over you today. I pray that you get the help that you need. There's nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong with, hiring a coach. There's nothing wrong with, hiring a psychologist or psychiatrist. There's nothing wrong sometimes even taking medication if you need to. But at the end of the day, you also have to take action. It's not so much taking a pill. It's not so much of just sitting down and talking about your problems. You have to come up with an answer. You have to make a decision. Are you going to go this way or are you going to go this way? And if you go this way, how much is it going to affect your life and the decisions that you make? And that's why you have to slow down to speed up. You have to slow down instead of just making these quick, rash decisions based on your emotions of how you feel right now. How are you going to feel 10 months from now? How are you going to feel 10 years from now about that specific decision that you're making right now? So my encouragement to you is really grab a notepad and pen before Monday morning comes. Write down what you want, what you can control. What are your goals in your physical life? What are your goals in your intellectual? What do you want to learn? How do you want to grow? Do you want to learn how to become, more financially independent? Do you want to learn how to tackle some disease that you might have? Do you want to learn how to become a better husband, a better person, a better, person in relationships, regardless of your past? You are not your past. You are right now, not only your future, but you're your present. Regardless of the mistakes that you made, you can actually move past that, but you have to make a decision to grow yourself. Even in the midst of depression, even if you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I lost all hope, you can come back to the PIES and start anew and get that motivation. Of course, that spirituality is the faith that's going to basically be the glue for the other three. So having the faith and the trust in God that He is going to get you through this moment of despair, of a challenge, whatever that you're facing, you have to trust the process. You have to believe that God has a will for your life, which He does, and you have to believe He's on your team. And you have to just ask, God, what is your will? Your will be done. And you have to have that faith. And of course, every day you have to choose, and you don't know what the future holds, even for tomorrow or even for this week. But you have to have the faith that God has your back. And with these 4 things, this acronym PIES, it helps me. I want to make a video about it because I know it can help you. If it can help me in the midst of just dark times in my life, in order for me to rise up and hit the gym and read that book and journal and pray, even when things are not going my way. And I've had days even recently where everything doesn't go my way. I get this text and that email, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all I want to do is go to bed. Or all I want to do is, sometimes I hate to say it, but give up. But you don't want to give up because there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I just want to speak that onto you today and just hopefully that adds value to at least one person, that they can really crush their week, and then that week compounded over another week, and then another week over the next week, and all of a sudden a month later, 2 months later, 2 years later, they're realizing that these 4 things they're just mastering. And all of the incredible things are coming their way because they attracted it, because they decided to control the things that they should control, and not other people, but themselves. And I'm with you. This is a you versus you battle, and I know that you're going to win it. So appreciate it. Let me know how it goes. I'm in it with you every single day myself. Thanks so much.